I know this variable you measured looks interval, but it's entirely possible that it's really just ordinal. I'll cover this issue at another time, but for now, let's just talk about how to deal with ordinal data. Ordinal data is non-parametric. The only real assumption with ordinal data is that the data occurs in a particular order. It can be ordered. Interval and ratio data do have additional assumptions which we will cover in those videos, but know that ordinal data really just has that one assumption. Because ordinal data is non-parametric, we really should be thinking in terms of medians and quartiles rather than means and standard deviations, though sometimes people will report the latter. Since the data are non-parametric, it really is necessary, at least in most cases, to use a non-parametric test. I would propose that there are sort of two types of ordinal data. One that's a little bit more categorical-like, and the other which is a little more interval-like. Let me tell you what I mean. If we were to look at high school class, these data are ordinal in the purest definition, but it is a type of ordinal which feels a bit categorical in nature. I would propose that one should just run these as if they are categorical, drop them into an ANOVA. It would be absurd to treat this variable as ordinal and run it in a test like a Mann-Whitney U or a Kruskal-Wallis H, and most reviewers and professors would destroy your paper if you try. If we adhered to pure definitions of interval and ordinal data, a whole lot of our data would be best described as ordinal, but in practice we often just pretend it isn't. Thus, if it feels categorical, pretend it is. You'll get far fewer scowls from reviewers and professors. So what should you do if your data are interval-like? This one's a little harder. I'll discuss this further in the interval level video, but many people just treat these as interval, and I would argue that that's a mistake. If your data are more of the interval-like type of ordinal, non-parametric tests can actually really come in handy. Many researchers will let the assumptions determine the best course of action. So for instance, if the parametric assumptions are violated, then you would run the non-parametric test instead. The most important thing to understand is that researchers disagree about these definitions, these classifications, and these decisions. My best advice, defend your course of action as well as you can, given the circumstance, then hope reviewers and professors agree with your rationale. And if they don't, take solace from the fact that other authors have probably received more scathing reviews than you. Next up, interval level data. Thanks for watching.